Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And I'm here with my man Andy. And we have our very first session of the Coach's Corner. And today we're going to break down R.J. Barrett and the way that we think Tom Thibodeau will use R.J. Barrett. So, without further ado, let me get my guy Andy over here on the screen. Andy, what's popping with you today, man?
Yo, what's up, guys? Happy to be here. Happy to be with you, Sin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, I want to let everybody know, if you want to catch this live, you got to come to Sportscaster. Go to the link in the description, click on that link, and follow us on Sportscaster, and you can catch it live every Friday. A little bit late today. Normally, it's going to be at 3:30. It's about 4:15. But anyway, make sure you subscribe or follow at Sportscaster. And if you're on YouTube right now, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. But this is live on Sportscaster. We're going to go ahead and get busy. Talk about R.J. Barrett and how we think Tom Thibodeau is going to use him. So, Andy, before we even get to it, let's talk a little bit about R.J. Barrett, Tom Thibodeau, and how you think Tom Thibodeau is going to use R.J. Barrett this upcoming season.
Well, due to his lack of three-point shooting and more of a two-point game, maybe a little bit more to the back to the basket and stuff like that, mid-range, I see him looking like from Tibbs' former plays. Probably he's going to be like Jimmy Butler. He's going to challenge him probably to be one of the maybe not the captains, but maybe a future captain, future role model for the young guys. I think he's going to groom him to be that star for the Knicks. So I'm guessing he's going to pick the Jimmy Butler route for RJ for us.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that he will use him similar to the way that he used Jimmy Butler. I think that, it's gonna be a little while, maybe another year or two before R.J. Barrett fully grows into a mature leadership role. I think, he's 19 years old. You got to grow into it. Excuse me. Right, you got to learn what it's like to be a leader. And I'm not saying he doesn't have those natural abilities. I'm just saying you got to grow into it a little bit. You got to grow. You got to build that confidence to be able to tell your teammates, older teammates, go here, go there, do this, do that, exactly. and express your opinion and those type of things. So
that would be easy if he had the full, the skill set would be that developed, that he would be way better than the old guys. But you know how it's in the NBA, right? You can be, a top star. He's not the Luka type of player that when he rolls in, he just can, put guys into places. But he's gonna get there, I believe so.
Yeah, I think so too. But listen, there's a few areas that I think he showed us last year where he can really excel. And I think Tom Thibodeau's been looking over a lot of tape. And I think there's going to be some specific areas and some specific ways that Tom Thibodeau looks to use R.J. Barrett. Some of them are very much like the way that he used Jimmy Butler. But we're going to focus because their games are kind of similar, but also a little bit different because of, body size and structure and stuff like that. So I think, R.J. Barrett might be used a little bit differently, but I think the concepts are going to be the same and they're going to do some similar stuff. I do believe that R.J. Barrett has the same kind of dog mentality that Jimmy Butler has. So I think R.J. Barrett is a dream for Tom Thibodeau.
Tips, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
I think
if I can add one thing only, difference between Jimmy and RJ, only the situation, because when Jimmy came to the Bulls, he was starting from the bench role, right? I don't think Thib is gonna start, RJ from the bench. He's already that way ahead, right? But he also is missing the mentors that Jimmy had, right? If you saw a few interviews of Butler, he was always praising, the Luol Deng and his vets for making him the player he's now. and RJ is not going to have that, with him at this point. And even if they would try to bring a vet for him, it's not going to be the type of, that's going to put him to the bench and let the vet play the starting minutes. So that's going to be the difference. And just let's hope that he's going to develop just as nicely or even faster than Jimmy did.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, you see what Jimmy's doing in Miami now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, here's a few areas. The first area that I don't want to say area, but one of the ways that I think he's going to use RJ Barrett, and what I noticed throughout the season, what I hope Tom Thibodeau notices, and I think he probably will, is that RJ Barrett plays very well when he's on the move. When he's moving without the ball, he does a good job creating space from his defenders. He does a good job of catching the ball and making a quick move to the basket. Right, so I'm going to bring a video over. We can break this down. Let's take a look at it. Okay, we got to keep RJ Barrett on the move, and I think that's what Tom Thibodeau is going to do. Right, so let's take a look at the video. And let me just check my screen real quick and make sure that you guys can hear me well enough. Yes, you can. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get right into this. So we're gonna start the video, and on this right here, this particular possession, Julius Randle is gonna hand the ball off to RJ so RJ can go to the basket. So let's get it moving. All right, and you see it here. Julius Randle hands the ball off to RJ. RJ, boom, takes it to the basket. Right, just an example right there of how he's on the move. Again, you're gonna see in this possession here, and I know it's moving a little bit fast. You're gonna see in this possession here, RJ goes back door. Julius Randle finds him going back door. Let me rewind it just a bit because I want to look at the first one again. I know we moved kind of fast. The video just jumped right in there on me. So I want to rewind it just a little bit, and then we can look at it again. All right, so you see Julius Randle has the ball. RJ Barrett, he's on the move. He knows automatically what's about to happen, that Julius Randle is going to hand the ball off to him. So he's looking for it. Boom, handoff, goes to the basket. Easy layup. He's got a strong body, and he can finish that. Here, again, Julius Randle is looking for RJ Barrett. This time he's not close enough for a handoff. So he's looking to see, what is RJ Barrett going to do? Is he going to pop out to the top of the key if his defender lays back off of him? Or if his defender overplays and plays too high, he's going to go back door. All right, so let's take a look. Boom. Defender stays high. Barrett goes back door. Dunk. All right, let's take a look at a couple other times. Barrett across the lane from Damian Dotson. Lays it in. And then here you go. Elfrid Payton. And I want to rewind this one, ladies and gentlemen, real quick. I didn't mean to start it over. Let's get it back to Elfrid Payton. Let's get it back up there. Let this play finish through. All right, stop here. I didn't mean to say Elfrid Payton. To the pass from Elfrid Payton. So let's take a look at the spacing here. Because one of the things that we always talk about when it comes to RJ Barrett is that we need spacing. So let's take a look. Let's see what's on the screen. Let me get my laser pointer up here. All right, so you see Elfrid Payton has the ball here. Julius Randle's coming for this screen. All right, you got Reggie Bullock here. You got Taj Gibson playing down low. He's probably going from box to box. And you got RJ Barrett over in the corner. Elfrid Payton being a point guard, he's going to have to look. He's got to see and know where everybody is. But we're not focusing on Elfrid Payton right now. We're focusing on RJ Barrett. All right, so let's play it a little bit. Boom. Elfrid Payton comes off. Now, let's take a look. And let's see what RJ Barrett sees. Elfrid Payton, for one, he sees that Julius Randle is here. Does he want to kick it back to Julius Randle? Depends on what the defense is doing, because Julius Randle's man came off him. You got a three-point shooter over here in the corner, and Reggie Bullock. His defender's right here. That's probably not going to be a pass that you want to make, or you can make the pass, but it's not going to be an open shot. You got Taj Gibson in this short corner here. All right, his defender's right here. Now, Elfrid Payton, he's got to see that RJ Barrett's man is played real high, and he allowed RJ Barrett to be behind him. RJ Barrett recognizes this, and this is, a cardinal rule of defense. You don't let your man get behind you. You know what I'm saying? You got to see where that man is. Even if Julius Randle gets to this spot, you got two defenders right here. One of them has to get to Julius Randle. You don't let your guy get behind you. Whoever this is, I can't see who it is. Let RJ Barrett get behind them. Both RJ Barrett and Elfrid Payton notice it. And what happens? Backdoor RJ for the dunk. Right? That right there, ladies and gentlemen. RJ Barrett on the move. That is one thing I think Tom Thibodeau is going to do a great job of having RJ Barrett stay on the move. Right? Constantly moving without the basketball. Now, some of that's going to have to be on RJ Barrett. Right? He's going to have to recognize, like he recognized in that last play, he recognized that his man was up above him, up too high. So he went back door. All right, Elfrid Payton found him back door for the dunk. He's going to have to recognize those type of things, which he did, and I think he will. I think that Tom Thibodeau will do a good job putting RJ Barrett in situations so that he gets easy dunks like that, easy layups, and he's moving off the ball without the basketball. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. One thing that you're gonna see that's gonna be different between last year and this season is gonna be the screens. You're gonna see how Thibs is gonna make the big guys set screens and how do they call them? Lag them a little bit. They're gonna be longer. They're not gonna be just a fast screen and slip screen. Mm-hmm. If Julius did those screens a little bit for just a split second longer, both of those situations, like the first one that he left the ball for RJ and he cut to the basket, RJ would have more space, even with the Elfrid Payton pass. Also, if he would keep Trae Young on his hip, Elfrid would have space to do anything else, because that was a plain bad defense from RJ's guy, right? You have to be between our guy and the basket. If that would be played correct, Elfrid would be going downhill and going probably nowhere because it was crowded in the paint.
Right.
So that would be a bad situation. But if Julius had Trae Young on his hip, he had the mismatch. Elfrid could help himself out of the bad situation just to passing Julius up to the to the key, the top of the key, because he was way bigger, right? So he would save that turnover of his. Probably that would be happening. But if you just think about it, longer screens are going to happen, and Thibs, that's why he's going to be able to cut off RJ on those screen plays.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Longer screens, more screens, multiple screens, and also using RJ in screening scenarios where he's setting the screen, but it helps him to pop free, right?
Exactly.
To create open lanes, because the next series of clips I'm going to show you, RJ Barrett does a really good job of attacking the open lane, recognizing that the lane is there, and then attacking it. Right? He does a really good job, and he doesn't take a lot of dribbles to do it. You see so many players, pop, 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 and then attack, pop, 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 and then go. And by the time that happens, everyone's standing around watching. RJ does a good job of attacking with one dribble. Every once in a while, he might get into a dribbling fit. That's going to happen with young players. But I think he does a good job of attacking the lanes, attacking the open lanes. Right, so I believe that Tom Thibodeau is going to do, like you said, have him coming off of double screens, setting longer screens for RJ, and doing some things that open up the lanes for him. Right, because we're going to look at some clips where the lanes weren't fully open. They were kind of open, but not fully open. Yet still he was able to get to the basket. Now, just imagine if those lanes are wide open because the spacing is correct. And I'm not talking about spacing as far as shooting and knocking down a shot. I mean spacing just where you're standing on the floor. You know what I'm saying? because RJ can attack those lanes. So let's take a look. All right, creating open lanes for quick moves for RJ, and I think Tom Thibodeau will do this season with RJ Barrett. It's help him to create open lanes. So on this first clip, you're going to see RJ Barrett go and set a screen for Morris. Then he's going to pop out to the three-point line. Morris is going to make a swing, a quick swing to RJ Barrett. Boom, RJ Barrett's going to fly to the basket. Okay, so let's just look real quick at where everyone is. Okay, here you see Dennis Smith Jr. in this area. In my opinion, you know, he needs to be a little bit wider out. Okay, but you see RJ Barrett right now coming over to set this screen for Marcus Morris. All right, and then Marcus Morris is going to pop out, get the basketball. RJ Barrett's going to pop out, and the ball's going to be swung to RJ Barrett. All right, so let's take a look at it. Bam, RJ Barrett, screen, Marcus Morris. Boom, the ball is swung to RJ Barrett, goes to the basket, and he hands it off to Mitch. All right, let's bring that back for just a second. Let's look at it again.
And Sam, if you notice, so look how long the RG screen is, right? Mm-hmm. If you look, it's a split second longer than Julius Randle's screens, and right. That makes the difference here.
Yes, because when you set those longer screens, good screens, it's a little bit tougher for the defenders to get over. Defenders got to fight over the screens, right? So let's take it back. Let's take it back and look at the screen a little bit. When he sets that screen, we'll take it back here. So you see, boom, you see him setting a good screen. He's not slipping yet.
Yeah.
Right? He's not slipping yet. He's allowing Marcus Morris to go over the screen.
Yeah, he can react depending on what the defender is going to do. He can react, or he's going to drive, or he's going to step up and shoot and whatever, right? He has the time.
Right, exactly. And he's allowing Marcus Morris, he's allowing the play to go through before he makes any kind of a move. All right, so now let's play it through. Marcus Morris catches it. Bang. You see him swinging it to RJ Barrett. Now you see Dennis Smith Jr. out here to this three-point line, right? Now he moved out to the three-point line, and he's going to start to fade down towards this corner. I would like to see that fade happen a little bit quicker. As this ball is being passed is when I would like to see him fading down to this corner, right? Because then, his defender, look where his defender is watching RJ Barrett. His defender is watching this action. Dennis Smith Jr., if he fades down to this corner, he's wide open. RJ Barrett gets this ball, bam, the pass is there. Or maybe he fakes the pass and goes to the basket, and it's a wider open lane for RJ Barrett. A wider open lane, and that's one of the things I was talking about earlier. We got to find ways to have a wider open lane for RJ Barrett, so he doesn't have to.
Because if there was someone else like a shooter instead of Dennis Smith Jr. plays there, he would be standing still in the corner and just waiting for the ball.
Exactly.
The whole action, he would be standing there still, and that would spread the court for make the lane for RJ.
Right. Instead here, he finally dips down. Dennis Smith Jr. finally dips down to the corner, but I think it was a little bit too late. I think while the ball was being passed, he should have been on the move down to this corner and deeper into the corner. You see, he stopped here. I think he should be deeper in this corner over here, right? Because that's going to allow more of a lane for RJ Barrett, in my opinion. All right, it's going to allow a little bit more of a lane for RJ Barrett. Let's go ahead and roll it and let it play. As it is, RJ Barrett gets through, finds Mitch. Mitch brings it home. You can see again. Let's stop this one and bring it back as well. Right? Because, again, the spacing isn't great in my opinion. Go ahead and bring this forward. The spacing isn't great. You see, RJ Barrett gets the ball from Elfrid Payton.
Yeah, and at this point, Knox should be right in the corner.
Exactly.
Or cutting to the basket, just making
exactly.
plays.
He's got to be cutting. He's got to be hitting that corner quick, right? You can't stand and watch the ball to see if the pass made it there. Just worry about your job. Let them guys do their job. You worry about your job. He's got to get to this corner here, right, to create more space, because when we let it roll, you're going to see that they're a little bit tight together. Now, these guys, we're not sure who's guarding who, right? You see him coming out to RJ Barrett, and then this guy kind of stays down. RJ Barrett had the option. He could have passed it to Kevin Knox or went to the basket. So you see here, he gets the ball and automatically puts it on the floor to go, right? Automatically puts it on the floor to go. Kevin Knox, and this is what we're talking about. These guys have got to recognize that Kevin Knox should have been deep in this corner already, down here, to open up that lane for RJ Barrett. I think Tom Thibodeau, will stress those little nuances that open up those lanes.
Yeah,
right.
And when you look at it, you think it's only a step or two, right? But that's a couple of feet of the defender, leaning sideways. So that's a huge advantage.
Exactly. And so, either way, even with this here, bad, not so good spacing, RJ Barrett, oh, hold up. Let me get back to it. Let me go back to it. Let me rewind it. I think I skipped. Oh, here we go. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Even still, RJ Barrett, he gets to the lane and brings it home, even though the spacing isn't perfect. Here you're going to see from the top of the key, I think that's another area where he's very effective. Bring it back a little bit, right? And even though we don't have great shooters on the floor. Okay, you got 4 guys that aren't great shooters on the floor. But because of just personnel spacing, not shooting, personnel spacing. Right? You got RJ Barrett with the ball up top. Julius Randle's not a great shooter. He's out there. We already know Mitchell Robinson, he doesn't even attempt to shoot. Frank Ntilikina is not a great shooter. Okay, and what's his name over here? He can shoot it.
Yeah, Harkless.
Yeah, Mo Harkless can shoot it. All right, but still, look where Frank is. Frank's way out here. It's causing Russell Westbrook. He's got to come out a little bit. All right, James Harden at least has to give some respect to Julius Randle. Okay, because Julius Randle can go baseline if Harden steps up. So he's got to respect them. All right, even though he only shoots 27% from the three-point line, and then Mo Harkless, you got to respect his three-point shooting. All right, but it's not always about the shooting. A lot of times it's about where you place yourself on the floor. And you see here, Mitchell Robinson's going to come up, set the screen. RJ Barrett's going to actually go opposite. Oh, well, he takes the screen, goes to the basket, lays it in. Right? One more time from the top of the key. Let's see. This time you got RJ Barrett with the ball at the top of the key. Right? Kevin Knox running off the side to the wing. Okay, and hopefully he's ready to slide down to this corner. These corners are so important when it comes to spacing. You should be deep in these corners when you hit the corner, in my opinion. Not up around here. Right? That's not the corner. Not up around here. That clogs it up. You should be deep in the corner. Deep in these corners. That causes your man to be down here by the baseline when you're deep in the corner. All right, so you see Kevin Knox coming to this corner. See Julius Randle coming up, ready to set the screen. All right, go ahead and let it play. Boom. He goes opposite the screen. Now what's happening? He goes opposite the screen. He sees the lane. It was a wide open lane. These guys now are panicking like, oh, damn. Lane is wide open. 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders coming in towards RJ Barrett. There's going to be Mitchell Robinson open here. You got Kevin Knox that's going to be open here. Probably won't get the ball back to Randle because there's 3 defenders here. And you got Elfrid Payton over here in the corner. All right, we're going to talk about RJ Barrett being a facilitator as well because he is a good facilitator too. All right, but getting him in some of these screen and roll situations from the top of the key, he can be very effective, and I think Tom Thibodeau will do that. And you're going to see he takes the ball, Takes it all away, lays it in. One more time, one more. You see the quick move to the basket. I want to bring that back. My players, get mad at me because I don't let the players go through and I stop it and all that kind of stuff. So that's okay. It's all good. It's all about teaching. That's how I got to teach them sometimes. So you see, Julius Randle got the ball here. He got the ball off of a handoff from Frank Ntilikina. He's going to find R.J. Barrett. Right, and we're going to talk about wing post and isolation. Isolation on the wing. You guys have seen it a couple of times already because I made some mistakes and skipped over to it. But you're going to see he's isolated on the wing. I don't know if Julius Randle recognizes that he's isolated on the wing, but I think it's something that Tom Thibodeau is going to have to emphasize.
Yeah.
Right? Emphasize. Because when he's isolated on the wing, he's very good at getting to the basket. He makes very quick moves, and he's strong. And you're going to see here, he catches the ball, and he's gone. There's no playing around trying to shake his defender and all that crazy stuff. He catches it, and he goes to the basket. All right, this thing is getting me frustrated now. Here we go. Let's see it again. He's going to catch it. Boom, and he's gone. Right? He's not waiting around. Catches it, and he goes. We got to open up those lanes for R.J. Barrett to get to the basket. We open up those lanes. I think he'll be very, very successful. Because, he's got a strong body. He can get to the basket. He's going to get fouled. He's going to go to the foul line. Tom Thibodeau's got to find a way, in my opinion, to open up those lanes for R.J. Barrett. Setting longer screens our way, letting players go through. Players have got to recognize, they've got to be able to recognize that R.J. Barrett is in that situation. Right? Okay, we got R.J. Barrett isolated on the wing. Let's get it, let's get the ball to him.
Yeah, don't crowd him there. Let him have space. So.
Right, exactly. Let him have space. And I think Tom Thibodeau will definitely emphasize that. I want to take a look at some wing and post isolation. Right? Some wing and post isolation, because I think that he'll be successful in some wing and post isolation. Right? We've seen him, from time to time, get the ball in the post and be effective. Passing out of the post, I think he can probably do that. Right? But scoring out of the post, he's effective. All right, so let's take a look at some wing and post isolation and where people should be placed and where I think Tom Thibodeau will have them placed. It may look a little bit better than the way you see it now, though. Right? Because right now, guys just kind of move out the way and no one's really in a spot that looks like they know what they're doing. They're just kind of standing there, wherever they're standing. There's a way that you can isolate someone to one side of the floor and it still look like, you're ready to play basketball. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's take a look at it real quick. We're going to do wing and post isolation. All right, for R.J. Barrett. So let's move this on over here. All right. Right off top, let's take a look at it. All right, let me get myself on the screen before we take a look at it. And then, we'll go ahead and... There we go. All right. Let's take a look at it. You can see, and this is what I'm talking about, how people just look kind of vagabond. I don't know. You got Julius Randle here. He's in an okay spot. You got Kevin Knox, who I think should be down here deeper in the corner. Then you got these two guys just kind of crowded here. This should be Mitchell Robinson in this short corner, and Elfrid Payton should probably be out here somewhere. Right? Get your guy out to play. Because who knows? Yeah. RJ Barrett may decide to come in here.
Yeah.
All right? Get your guy out the way. And if he does decide to come in here, he may have a lob to Mitch. right? So what's the point of Elfrid Payton being down here in this area? No point at all. Get him out here.
Bringing his defender straight to the paint for RG to have another
Exactly.
defender.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That, so he needs to get out, either have Julius Randle be in this spot and Elfrid Payton be up at the top of the key or whatever it is. But, just better positioning overall. You know what I mean? And you look at Kevin Knox's defender, back towards him. Kevin Knox slides down to this corner. Maybe RJ Barrett can't see him. Who knows? Or maybe he can. But if he slides to this corner, his defender has no clue that he's in this corner.
Yeah. Or he should be in the position where the ref is, right? And then Payton should run to the corner. That would happen,
exactly. Or Kevin Knox rotate up here and Payton run to the corner. But either way, that corner should be utilized. It should be utilized. And Kevin Knox got to recognize that this guy's got his back turned. He has no idea where he is. Kevin Knox could run around here and stop right here. And RJ Barrett find him if he wanted to, because this guy has no idea where he is. So these are things, to help RJ Barrett, to help everybody out on the team. These players have got to recognize these things. Okay, but we're talking about RJ Barrett isolating on the wing. All right. So right now you see him isolated. He's isolated and everyone's on one side of the floor. And he's effective. Boom, boom, spin, layup. That's easy work for RJ Barrett. That's easy work. See it again. Spin back, lay it up. That's easy work. All right, you're going to see it again here. And let's talk about clearing out space. All right, because Julius Randle clears out space and you're going to see everybody on the opposite side of the floor. Again, where they're at on the floor means something. Even though they're not actually in the play, where they are means something. Okay, so you're gonna see. Try to go a little bit. You're gonna see. I didn't stop it in a good spot, but we'll keep it there, right? Julius Randle kicks it out to RJ Barrett in that corner. Now he catches the ball ready to shoot. Okay, you can see him. He's in position. He's ready to shoot the basketball, but the defender's going to close out good enough so that he can't get that shot off. All right, boom. Defender closes out. Now, you see, and again, these things have to be done quicker, in my opinion. You see Julius Randle starting to fade out here. But he's fading out. He's not getting out. He's got to get out. Get out the way, move. Right?
Yeah,
he's kind of
he should be fading out, not to the sideline, right? He should be, like running straight to the middle court.
Yeah, so he ends up like over here. But he's just kind of, it's not with any aggression. He's just kind of fading out there. All right. And it's going to, but you already see where the defender closes out. The defender closes out here, which is, to me, is a bad closeout. Closes out here and leaves that baseline wide open. Okay, I mean, I'm not talking about the defense. We're not focusing on defense, but leaves that baseline wide open. And, RJ Barrett, he's going to recognize it, although he kind of takes him into the post first. All right, but this is that wing post isolation. All right, so let me go ahead and roll it. And you see, Julius Randle kind of hops out. He should be going all the way back. All right, because he doesn't know where RJ Barrett might go. Gets out the way. RJ Barrett, post move, hooks him a little bit. Was able to flip it up. You're going to see one more time. This time, Bobby Portis is going to find RJ Barrett on the wing. And you're going to see the same play that just happened with Julius Randle previously. Where Julius Randle swung it to RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett exploded to the basket. No, not a whole bunch of dribble moves or this or that, the other thing. He just, boom, he's gone to the basket. Right, let's see it. Boom, gets it, let's go. It's to the cup, dunks it home. Right? Isolating him on that wing, man, I think can be very effective for RJ Barrett because he doesn't play with the basketball. Isolate him on that side make the defenders have to make them have to adjust. I mean, I don't know how much you can adjust. There's not much you can do, and he's so effective in those isolation moments on the wing. I don't know how much you're going to be able to do if everyone clears out. Everyone clears out to one side. Now, we talked about the spacing and where players should position themselves. I think that's important. Even though they're not in the play, it's important because the play could break down and you need to be in a good spot. You can't be bunched up. You know what I'm saying? You can't be bunched up. So that, I think, is going to be a key. I think that's going to be a key, right? I really do. I think there's going to be a key for RJ Barrett. And what I think Tom Thibodeau, how Tom Thibodeau will use RJ Barrett.
Yeah, and we still don't know how the roster is going to look. But if Tibbs would have a guy like he had in Noah, or like we had a couple of years back in Kylo Quinn, in situations like isolating on the wing, RJ would be also, when the defender would read it, right, he could easily go back back door and get those slip passes, and just have open late and just dunk the ball, right, without having any contact with the defender.
Right.
So and that's going to happen probably with better chemistry with the teammates and stuff like that. So we're probably going to see it later in the season, but it's going to happen definitely.
Yeah. And I think another area is using RJ Barrett as the ball handler in the screen and roll and as a facilitator.
Yeah.
Definitely. And he used Jimmy Butler in the same fashion, right, from time to time, especially when Derrick Rose was out. Let Jimmy Butler do some facilitating. You got to have a guy who's got a high IQ for basketball to do those type of things. And I think RJ Barrett does have he has a high IQ. Doesn't mean you don't need a point guard. Doesn't mean that. It just means, in certain situations, in certain times of the game, you give the ball to RJ Barrett and let him be the facilitator.
Yeah, he can run the point for us for a couple of possessions, right?
Exactly.
Just if we have a problem with that, and then go back to his role.
Exactly. And look, he's been a kid who's been coached throughout his basketball career. His father, right? Steve Nash, he went to Duke. He's received some good coaching. He understands how to facilitate. He understands the game of basketball. He understands how to use those screen and rolls, and we're going to take a look at it. All right, so let's take a look at it. This is RJ Barrett facilitating in some screen and roll situations. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. And again, we always talk about having shooters. Right? That's what we always talk about. You got to have shooters. Got to have shooters to create space. Shooters to create space. Well, let's take a look at who's on the floor. Again, RJ Barrett's not a great shooter. Julius Randle's not a great shooter. Elfrid Payton's not a great shooter. You got Marcus Morris and Bobby Portis. They can shoot the basketball. Okay? But you look at where this play is taking place. These are non-shooters. But if you do the little things right, you space you space your body in the right place, you set a good screen, you have good timing, you can still be effective. Still be effective. So let's take a look. You see Julius Randle is on his way to set a screen for RJ Barrett. See what happens. Julius Randle comes up, sets the screen. Rolls off. RJ Barrett finds him. Julius Randle knocks down a little mid-range jump shot. Let's look here. Let's take this one back just a little bit because I let it go too much. Again, you're going to see RJ Barrett and Julius Randle screen. Now, I'm going to keep harping on this, and hopefully Tom Thibodeau does as well. Kevin Knox is in a good spot. Bobby Portis, get down to this corner. What's the point of standing right here? All you're doing is closing up the lane. Your defender may still stay here. Even though you go to this corner, your defender may stay here. right? But if you get to this corner, if your defenders now got to turn and look to say, where is he? Right? RJ Barrett's already getting ready to come in here. If you get to this corner, your guy either has to come to you or he's going to stay with RJ Barrett to help defend RJ Barrett, and you cut to the basket. Right? Staying here, this allows him to defend you and RJ Barrett at the same time. Right? Because RJ Barrett gets in here and kicks it out. Bam. He's right here. So now, he may get to this corner, but I think he should already be at this corner. He should already be there because that's going to draw your defender just a couple feet closer to you. All right. Frank Ntilikina, same thing. I think Frank Ntilikina should be over in this corner as well. Now, depending on what the play is, Frank may be expecting a screen from Julius Randle so he can come up to get the ball, or Frank may be ready to rotate up top if Julius Randle rolls to the basket. All depends on what the screen is, right?
I think Frank was going, on top of the 3-point line because he knew that Barrett is going to drive the left side of his. So, getting the defender of him behind RJ is not going to affect him that much.
Right.
So
exactly. So he's probably looking for floor balance as RJ Barrett comes here. He's looking to come up and rotate up to the top. So if the ball gets swung, it can rotate around. And Frank Ntilikina is right there to get the rotation.
Out of the paint in case, Julius would have a roll, down there. So his defender wouldn't be standing there. So
I'm going to take that back. He should be in that corner. He's in the right spot, I guess. Maybe he could be outside the 3-point line to create a little bit more space.
That's definitely the thing, outside the 3-point line. And I bet you this, that if Julius is going to make the screen, he's going to still leave a bit too fast, if you're going to notice it when you run it. If he would stay just a split second longer, he would give RJ the bigger advantage. I think they're going to finish, of course, the play, right?
Yeah, they're going to finish the play, but still.
Yeah, still, exactly, if you're going to notice it.
So, hold up. Let me go back. Let me go back. I don't know. Did I look at this one? Did we look at this one?
Yeah, I think you got to go further.
Yeah, I got to go forward. Anyway, we'll let it play. There you go. Scoop. All right, so let's stop it here. All right, so and you can see he kind of, you can already see it that he kind of touched the defender on the screen.
Yeah. Right?
Kind of touched the defender on the screen. Yeah, okay, so you see him here, right? It's not a bad, it's a tight space for the defender to get through.
Yeah, and we also, gotta say that RJ, when you're trying to cut off a screen, you gotta just touch even your guy, right? So you don't leave any space between you and your your teammate.
Exactly.
He leaves a little bit too much space so Kobe White can slide through through them.
Right. Exactly. So let's play it, and you see Julius Randle's able to come loose. It's come back just a little bit. Julius Randle is able to get loose. But RJ Barrett with a nice, sweet pass in between the two defenders. I think maybe somebody touched it, flicked the ball up a little bit high. I don't know. But you can see here, he sees it the whole way, RJ Barrett. He sees it the entire way. And there's it's kind of a tight space. It's got to be a really good pass to get through there.
Yeah.
Really good pass to get through there. He's able to deliver that pass. And boom, Julius Randle catches it, converts. All right, and then you're going to notice here, Taj Gibson, boom, screen. You can see Taj Gibson with a nice screen.
See, and Taj stayed with that screen. That was the split-second screen that Taj would stay with it a little bit longer.
And let's see it again, boom. Well, he kind of slipped it. He slipped that one.
This one, but
let's go back to the other one.
Yeah,
let's go back to this one here. Because he held the screen. He held the screen. So you see Taj Gibson has the ball. And RJ Barrett is going to come up, get the handoff. And now you see, boom, screen there.
You see, he's going to keep him there.
He's going to keep him there. Bang, holds him there. Bam. And when you look at this is good spacing. Look at where everybody is. Right? Just look at where everybody is. Good spacing on the floor. You're going to see Julius Randle outside the three-point line. You got a rebounder down here. You got, who's that? Frank Ntilikina. Is that Frank Ntilikina? Maybe Frank Ntilikina, whoever that is here. And I think R.J. Barrett kind of faded himself out the play.
Yeah,
right.
Play.
He's ready to get back and defend, just in case he misses the shot. Good spacing out here, and this is the reason why this shot is so wide open. And he knocks it down. Bam. You know, and you're gonna see here, and this is not. It's still off of a screen and roll, right? But he's gonna find Julius Randle in the short corner again. You're going to see good spacing on the floor. Good spacing. You got Julius Randle here in the short corner. Taj Gibson setting the screen. Marcus Morris outside the three-point line. Frank Ntilikina outside the three-point line. This is good spacing on the floor. Not great shooters. You got three guys on the floor that can't really shoot the ball, and Taj Gibson doesn't shoot threes either. Not great shooters, but still good spacing that allows the lane to be open for a pass to the short corner. Right? So everything is not just about, you know, so many times we say, oh, we got to have shooters to space the floor. We got to have shooters to space the floor. It's not always that. Sometimes it's about, a lot of times it's about where you space yourself as an individual on the floor. Right? And the coach has got to discipline the players to be in the right spots. You know what I mean? And you're going to see R.J. Barrett comes off the Taj Gibson screen. He's looking. He's watching. Then he finds Julius Randle in the short corner. Bam. Dunks it home or lays it home. And, yeah, man. I think Tom Thibodeau is going to have fun using R.J. Barrett around the court. You know what I mean? Because he can do a lot of things, right? He can post up. He can facilitate. He can be the ball handler in the screen and roll. He can flash to the basket. He can do a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? He can do a lot of stuff.
And it's gonna only, you know, his game is gonna only, you know, evolve, right? So he's gonna have that back to the basket move. He's gonna have that, you know, facilitation in the mid range where he can just turn around and take a shot, or, you know, pump fake someone and then drive. So it's gonna be many options for Tibbs there.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm looking forward to see how, you know, I'm just looking forward to see how it's gonna work, and what they're, you know, what they're gonna do with RJ Barrett, what Tom Thibodeau is going to do with RJ Barrett. Yeah, man. I know they've been having open practices. They've been having practices in the bubble, right? Or workout scrimmages. Of course, they've been having practice, but finally they've been able to, you know, have group scrimmages and stuff like that. I'm hoping we get to see some video from the scrimmages. We've heard from Tom Thibodeau. I think he said that another video from Tom Thibodeau came out today, so I'm going to check that out. I want to hear some. I want to see them scrimmage a little bit.
Yeah,
I just want to see them play.
Just look how they look right on the court. You know, you're not going to see fatigue and, you know, them being that tired, but, you know, at least you're going to see who's playing with who. You know, spacing on the floor, like, because he with the spacing, he's going to start that from day one of the practice, right?
Right.
He's not gonna, you know, wait till everyone comes in the, you know, in the gym and stuff like that. He's gonna, you know, like you said, pinpoint it to day one, and tell the guys that this is the way we gotta do it, and emphasizes those, you know, those things. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm anxious to see it. Look, you know, I was on the show with Guillermo the other day, and we were talking about R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle, right? And you know, he just started laughing at me because he doesn't think that, I don't want to say just him, nobody thinks that R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle can have any kind of chemistry. I disagree. I believe the last few games of the season, you've seen them have some chemistry, and I'm working on a video I'm working on a video that shows those two guys making some good passes to one another and starting to understand where they can be effective with each other on the floor. You know what I'm saying? I think that they can work together. And look, based on some of these videos here, even though neither one of them can really shoot the ball that well, they can be effective in the screen and roll because RJ can pass the ball, and Julius is a big body when he's rolling to the basket. He's got to set those screens, not slip those screens so early. Set good, strong, hard screens. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that RJ gets free and to make sure that he gets free. Yeah. Right? And if he does that, I think those two could have a good connection. I really do. I think they could have a good connection together.
You know, that the only problem for me, maybe not only, I got two problems with that. Let's call it lineup, right? Duo. That it's going to be easy for the defense to read them, because if none of them is a 3-point shooter and can, you know, pop out of the pick and roll or the screenplay, that's going to be easier for the defense to, you know, to cover it, right? But if they do that solid screen, that's going to give them that split second longer just to decide what they're going to do. That's gonna benefit both of those guys. So I hope, you know, Randall is gonna learn those screens from Taj, and you can even see it in these couple of videos you just showed that the Taj's screens are maybe, you know, not even better technically or strength wise. They are just a little bit longer, and it's not because he isn't looking for, you know, for scoring, right? Well, because when you put that longer screen, it's like for the guy that has the ball. It's not for you. If you're slipping early, you're thinking that you're going to get the ball and you're going to go for your points, right?
Right.
So, and the screenplay is basically for you know, if you're the screener, you're supposed to, you know, do it that way that the guy with the ball is going to have the advantage, not always you.
Right, because you want the guy with the ball to get into that paint and have the options, because when that guy with the ball gets into the paint, everyone has to collapse on that person. And then he has the option to make this pass, that pass, almost like we've seen when with Elfrid Payton, when we seen when Elfrid Payton found RJ Barrett cutting off the baseline. When he got inside, he had multiple options. He could have went to, you know, he could have kicked it out. He could have went to RJ. He could have went to Julius, right? RJ Barrett was the best option because of where his defender placed himself, and RJ Barrett had that cut to the basket. You know, so yeah, you know, you got to hold those screens. I do think that Randall can knock down that elbow jump shot.
Yeah. Both of them can do it. Both of them can do it. But, you know, it would be easier if, you know, you can make a step back way down, you know, up to the three.
Right.
Because you can stretch the floor just from that screenplay. But, you know, still, if they're going to hit the, you know, the elbow jumper, the jumper that, you know, Stoudemire take, that Melo had, if they can, you know, be a threat like those guys in the mid-range, you can work with that.
RJ can hit it. RJ can hit it.
RJ can hit it.
Now you're not gonna use Julius Randle handling the ball and RJ Barrett setting the screen. I think it's always gonna be RJ Barrett as the ball handler and Julius Randle as a screener. You could get other times where Kevin Knox is the ball handler and RJ Barrett sets the screen, because I've seen Kevin Knox make a couple plays when he was the ball handler and somebody, you know, set a screen, you know, someone came up and set the screen and he was able to find the person. Depending on whoever else comes to the team, you may have a 4, maybe a 3 who can be the ball handler while RJ sets a screen and let RJ come off the screen for a little pop or maybe a roll to the basket as well.
Yeah.
So,
you know, if
a lot of ways to use RJ Barrett.
If I would see Randall and RJ going for their screen, if I was the defense, I would already, you know, smell something fishy coming up. So it would probably be, you know, Randall going down way down the hill and going straight to the basket. That would be that looking like that.
Yeah, but as you guys can see, man, RJ Barrett, there's a lot that Tom Thibodeau has to use and a lot that he's going to be able to do with RJ Barrett. I'm looking forward to see the way that he uses RJ Barrett. Yeah. Andy, I appreciate the time, bro. Gonna head up out of here. And next week, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to catch us next week as we break down how Tom Thibodeau is going to use these players for the New York Knicks, how I think he might use them. All right, so make sure that you tune in. I will be on time next week at 3:30 on Sportscaster. You can catch it live. Then you can catch the replay on YouTube and on Sportscaster. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Oh, subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. Follow me on Sportscaster. If you're on YouTube and you want to catch this live, then make sure that you hit that link in the description and follow on Sportscaster. I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. Coach's Corner.